So when we've made some wrong decisions and it's landed us in some serious trouble, I mean, we're just lying in the mess of our decisions, our bad decisions, because we wanted to maybe make ourselves happy, or perhaps we sold ourselves out to something and that's landed us in a lot of trouble. See, it's important at those points when we actually are in those to actually have that MOT, that moment of truth, whereby we consider our situation and the things that have happened because of our decisions, where we've landed ourselves. Because when we think in that way, we would then actually be able to then correctly realize what the solution is. Psychology speaks concerning the stages of reconciliation. Here's how the stages work. First, there is acknowledging the wrong and taking responsibility. Second, there is offering a sincere and genuine apology. Third, there is seeking understanding through empathetic listening, making amends, rebuilding trust with consistent positive actions. And finally, there is establishing healthy boundaries and communication to sustain the renewed relationship. And these are the stages that they've seen concerning reconciliation. Let's look at that first part, acknowledging the wrong and taking responsibility. See, Jesus is telling this story concerning this son who went and wasted his inheritance because he wanted to be happy. And this son has now landed himself in a situation. He wants to now eat what the pigs are eating, but then he realizes that the servants in his father's house have it better than he has. And so the son has that MOT moment, the moment of truth, and he then goes on to consider something because he wants to be reconciled to his father. And then he says this in verse 18 of Luke chapter 15. He says, "I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you." See, the son in his MOT moment actually realizes what he should do. First, he realizes that he should acknowledge the wrong that he has done and take responsibility. Look at the words he said he wanted to say, he thought to say to his father, because he's planned it. This is how I'm going to get back to my father. This is how I'm going to get on this good side and get forgiveness and be allowed back in. I'll say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and I've sinned against you. I've done you wrong. I've done wrong before God and I've done wrong to you. You see, it took that moment of truth whereby he checked himself in his situation and realized what was wrong. He realized the wrong that he had done. You see, when we come to God, there are things that we must admit. We must confess these things because we already know what they are. We know the wrong that we've done. That's the point. We know exactly the wrong that we've done. If we will humbly think about it, we'll realize the wrongs that we have done. And it is actually quite good because it shows how this son here is willing to humble himself because he realizes where home is. He realizes the place of forgiveness. He realizes the place whereby if he can just get another chance, it's going to be good for him. And God is that Father. He's waiting for you to realize that if you just come to him, that if you just receive Jesus as Son, that if you just seek to know him and live for him, you will truly find that true happiness and contentment that you really need, that only he can fulfill. Because you need him. I need him. We all need him. Life lived without God is life wasted, but life lived with him is life to the fullest. Choose him today. God bless you. Have a wonderful week.